Hi, I am here today to talk about turning your dreams into reality. And, there's a lot of things out there called The Secret and manifesting and, the law of attraction and all that stuff is great. And the one thing that I feel is missing from all of those ideas about creating what you want is that number one, we are the limitation between having what we want. It's usually the mind. So my mind is the thing that stops me from having everything that I desire. And then number two, I feel that there's this intense paradox that most people don't understand, and that's what prevents them also from creating what it is that they want. So the rules for me in creating what I want to experience are number one, getting crystal clear about what it is that I want to experience. And the key word here is experience. So it's not necessarily about just what I want to have. So if I'm moving and I want to have a solid position that allows me to provide for my daughter, if I want to have a home that allows my daughter to have her own room, for me to have my own room, to have an office, to have space, then that is an experience, not just a thing that I want to have. So, again, if it's a car that you want to have, or a job that you want to have, or a partnership that you want to have, writing a book, so a finalized book that you want to have, remember that it's really about the experience of having that thing versus that actual thing. A lot of times, the way I clarify this for individuals is if they want to have a new job because they hate the job they have, but they have no idea what that ideal job is. So, what I encourage people to do is to get really clear on what experience you want to have while you are having that new job. So, let's say, for instance, I used to work a lot in the pharmaceutical industry. Now it's just more part time basis. And so, like, I always felt like I didn't like it because it felt so regimented, it felt so logical, and it felt so far from, my spirituality and my consciousness and my coaching practice, my heartfelt, aspects of my life. And so I realized that that's something that I was preventing myself from experiencing. So it was really about me experiencing that work in the world from a new place inside of myself. So it wasn't just that I was going to get a new job, it was that I was going to experience myself and that new job in a totally different way. And I was going to bring all the things that I loved about my coaching work and spiritual practices and consciousness, I was going to bring all that into my new experience. So let's say, for instance, somebody they work in an office space and they're really not happy with the office space. They're not happy with the way things are going down in the company, and they want to get a new job, but they don't know where to look and they don't know necessarily what they want to do. They have a dream job that they don't really, take action towards having. So they're just looking for the same position that they already have. So, something that they could start to do, something that you could start to do, is to just shift the way that you are experiencing your current job and say what is it that you do want. So it's like, I want to experience more fun in the office. I want to experience more friends. I want to experience more camaraderie and community. I want to experience team efforts. I want to experience, a manager that respects me and I respect them. So to get very crystal clear on what it is that you want and what it is that you want out of that experience versus just the actual thing itself. So focus on the experience and get crystal clear. Number two is recognize that we are the ones that block ourselves from having what it is that we want. So I have a coaching client right now who really desires a spiritual, loving partnership in their life. And so it's like getting very crystal clear on what that experience would be like, how it would be, how it would feel, what kind of things would you be doing in a spiritual, conscious, heartfelt relationship. And also get very clear on the things that prevent you from having it. So write down all the things that you really want in one column, and then in the other column, write down all the things that prevent you from having that. And by things, I mean your thoughts, your judgments, your stories, your beliefs about life, about relationships, about partnerships, about what happened to you in the past, and write all those things down. So I'm talking about things like I don't deserve to be loved. I always experience struggle in relationship, or I don't know how to do relationships, or I either want the person and they don't want me, or they want me and I don't want them. Or, it's not easy to be in a relationship. It's easier to be out of a relationship. I have another client right now who's really experiencing a lot of struggle in her relationship, and she's um, really encountering this thing of like, I'm crazy in a relationship. I'm not grounded. I'm not solid inside of myself. I'm emotional and sensitive. So write down some of those things. Those are some of the things that block you from experiencing the kind of partnership and relationship that you want to experience. And then there's a process of letting go of all those things. So it's like really looking at each of those things and recognizing that that is a belief. And it doesn't necessarily mean that it's true. And if you were to buy into something else, if you were to buy into a new belief, what would that belief be? And how would that support you in actually experiencing what it is you do want? So if someone says, I don't deserve to have somebody treat me that good, well, it's like, what's the flip side? Do you want to buy into a new belief? Do you want to think something new, that you are that worthy and deserving of somebody loving you that much, of somebody adoring you that much, of somebody respecting you that much, of there being that much equanimity and peace and calm in a relationship? If that hasn't been your experience up until then, it's like open yourself up to that possibility and have that support, that column of the things that you do want to experience. So get very crystal clear on what it is you want. Okay? Write down the things that block you from having what it is that you want. And then there's this other thing about getting crystal clear and also at the same time removing all attachment, any expectation from that ever happening. So it's like for me in my AA program, I have learned through the 12 steps of AA that, step one is about acknowledging that I feel powerless over something. So a lot of times when people come to me and they want to create a partnership, it's like they feel really hopeless and they feel really helpless and they feel powerless about creating it because they haven't been able to, and they're really discouraged. And so for me it's very similar. It's like, wow, I feel really hopeless and powerless over this area of my life and I really want help. And then the next part is like really turning our will, turning, our desires and our attachments and our expectations. So it's like, why is having a relationship so important to you? Why does it mean so much to you? What would that say about you if you had a partnership, if you had the kind of partnership you wanted? And what does it say about you that you don't have that? And so it's like getting really clear about how attached we are to that thing that we want, and being willing to let go of our control, of our will, of our desire, of our attachment, to really let go of all those things and surrender and learn how to be okay with that one thing that we so desire never happening. To me, I've found that that is the absolute craziest paradox about creating dreams and making them into realities, is that I have to get super crystal clear on what it is I want, and then I have to relinquish all control. I have to get down on my knees, and I literally have to like put my head to the floor and say that I give it over. I surrender. I'm okay with this thing never happening ever. And honestly, as soon as I get to that place inside of myself, no matter how long it takes me to get there, sometimes it's a long time, other times it's short, but I've gotten better that, I've reduced the amount of time that I have to spend in that wanting part, into really just moving into surrender and letting it go, and just trusting that the universe or the sun or God or whatever word you want to use is going to take care of that if it's supposed to happen. And so as soon as I get crystal clear, I write down the things that are blocking me because those are things that I can take care of, and that I simultaneously let go of my control of that thing ever happening. It usually happens. And then the last part on creating dreams and making them into a reality is taking action right here, right now. Rigorous, rigorous action. Like I'm talking rigorous. So let's say, for instance, the reason my coach wanted me to do this video is because I do manifest things, and it's because I do a lot of internal work. I do a lot of processing, I do a lot of crying, I do a lot of, you know, fighting with myself, but I finally get to the end of it where I look at all those things that are blocking me from having what I really want. I totally surrender, and I also take action, and I make it happen completely unattached to it ever happening. And it's a really confusing concept. It's a spiritual concept, and here's my effort into making it more realistic and more doable and tangible and understandable. And it's like when I take action. So let's say, for instance, like I said, my coach wanted me to do this video because I was able to manifest two ideal jobs. One as a coach, one as a consultant. I created a townhome for my daughter and I. I was able to create an ideal daycare for my daughter to go to. And all of those things happened in a week, and those things were, to some people, really big things. It's like changing your job, changing your home, moving, things related to the children. It's like those are some of the big life things that you're not supposed to do more than one of those at one time. And it's really possible to create all these things. These are miracles that I'm able to create every day, every week, every month in my life because I get crystal clear. I write down what is blocking me from having them. I let go of control. I totally surrender. And I take rigorous action. So let's say, for instance, for the job, I was looking for jobs, I was applying to jobs, I was talking to people, I was telling people, in my industry that I was interested in doing this particular type of work, and I read them my ideal experience that I wanted to have. And then, for the place where I wanted to live with my daughter, the townhome, I got crystal clear that I wanted it to be 2 floors, 2 bedrooms, 2 bathrooms, great neighbors, great area, walking distance to cafes and delicious restaurants and grocery stores and other friends nearby. So it's like I got crystal clear on what it is I wanted to spend, and those things came to fruition in less than a week. So it's like I need to open myself to the possibility of what I want to experience. I need to let go of whatever it is that's stopping me from having that, really doing a lot of work. I have a coaching client right now who seems to be very frustrated because he's not creating what it is he wants, and I keep sharing with him, it's like, you've got to take action. Got to take action. It's like I spend a lot of my time, I invest a lot of my time in creating my ideals, letting go of what I don't want anymore and what's blocking me, turning my will over with prayer and meditation, and really taking action. So it's like I spend a lot of my time taking action. I invest and I make that an absolute priority in my life. Even if I'm tired at night from being a single working mother and being the only person taking care of her and providing for her, I still make an effort in the evening to look for the job or network or connect with people or look for the home or look for the new job, look for, whatever it is that I want to create, take action. So those are my tips on making dreams into realities, and I really do hope that you are able to take away something from this video and create something that you've been dreaming about, and instead of just dreaming about it and hoping for it and longing for it and thinking it's out there outside of you, that you are able to take some action and make it a reality right here, right now, today. Blessings. Lots of love, lots of light, and I wish you an awesome day. Take care.